The hum of the engine, the glow of the dashboard lights, the rhythmic thump of tires over pavement, these were the only certainties in a world that had suddenly decided to fold in on itself. It was just past midnight on July 30th, 2019, in San Francisco. I was just trying to get home, cutting through a part of the city I didn't know well. The GPS had died, of course. Classic, so I took a left onto a street that looked promising. It was lined with old Victorian houses, their windows dark and watchful under the orange glow of the streetlights. I drove for what felt like 10 minutes, the scenery unchanging. Same houses, same parked cars, same unsettling quiet. Then I hit an intersection. A single, blinking red light. I stopped, looked both ways, and took a right, figuring I'd loop back toward a main road. But a few minutes later, there it was again. The same intersection. The same blinking red light. My heart did a little stutter step. That's weird, I thought. Must have gotten turned around. I took another right. The street stretched out before me, identical to the last. The same Victorian houses stood like silent sentinels. The same cars were parked in the same spots. It was like driving through a photograph. I felt a knot of unease tighten in my stomach. This wasn't right. I pressed down on the gas, a little harder this time, determined to break the pattern. 10 minutes passed, maybe 15. The fuel gauge hadn't budged, and then, the intersection. That damned, blinking red light, pulsing like a malevolent eye. Panic began to creep in, cold and sharp. I was trapped. I tried every possible turn. Left, right, straight through. Each time, the street unspooled before me, an endless, repeating corridor of brick and shadow. I tried reversing, but the street behind me seemed to stretch into an impossible distance. I tried pulling over to use my phone, but there was no signal. Just the no-service icon mocking me from the top of the screen. The houses watched me, their dark windows like 1,000 unblinking eyes. The silence was absolute, broken only by the sound of my own increasingly ragged breathing and the low thrum of the engine. I must have driven that same block a dozen times. 20 times. I lost count. The world outside my car had become a hypnotic, terrifying loop. Desperation was setting in. I thought about just stopping the car, getting out, and running. But where would I run to? Down the same sidewalk that mirrored the same street. The thought was paralyzing. I felt like a rat in a maze designed by a madman. On what I promised myself would be the last pass, I decided to drive slowly, to really look, to find some detail. Any imperfection in this perfect, repeating nightmare. As I approached the familiar intersection for the umpteenth time, my headlights swept across the sidewalk on the corner, and my blood ran cold. There was a figure standing there, under the streetlight. It was a man. He was just standing there, hands in his pockets, watching my car approach. As I got closer, the details came into focus. The worn leather jacket, the faded jeans, the scuffed boots, my jacket, my jeans, my boots, my face. It was me. A perfect, silent copy of myself, standing on the sidewalk. I slammed on the brakes, the car screeching to a halt in the middle of the intersection. My heart was pounding against my ribs like a trapped bird. The figure on the sidewalk, the other me, didn't flinch. He just stood there, his expression unreadable in the flickering light. Then, slowly, he raised a hand. He didn't wave frantically, he didn't shout. It was a slow, deliberate, almost friendly wave. A silent acknowledgement. And then he smiled. It wasn't my smile. It was a knowing, predatory grin that didn't reach his eyes. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. My instincts screamed at me, a primal terror I had never known. I stomped on the accelerator, the tires squealing as the car shot through the intersection, leaving my silent, smiling doppelganger behind. I didn't look in the rearview mirror. I couldn't. I just drove, my knuckles white on the steering wheel, my eyes locked on the road ahead. And this time, the street was different. New houses appeared. The road curved. In the distance, I could see the familiar lights of a major boulevard. The loop was broken. I was free. But as I merged back into the normal, bustling traffic of the city, a single, chilling thought echoed in my mind. The loop wasn't broken. It was just ... reset. I made it home that night, but I've never been the same. I avoid that part of the city. I triple-check my GPS. But sometimes, when I'm driving late at night, I'll see a street that looks a little too quiet, a little too still. And I'll remember the figure on the corner. Was he a warning? A ghost? Or was he the one who got out, leaving me to take his place? Some streets are endless, and they loop and they twist until they find what they're looking for, until they claim you, and you're left to wonder, which version of you made it out? Thank you so much for coming along on this unsettling ride with me. If you enjoy stories that get under your skin, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the edge of reality. I'd love to hear your own strange stories or theories about this one in the comments below. Stay safe out there, and watch which streets you turn down. You never know where they might lead.